guys? Welcome, another episode of Joshing Around. And this week, we're gonna have a special mail time, one that's kind of a little bit personal, but it's gonna spin a little bit into some business perspective things later on in this video. But if you guys saw, super excited here. This has been something that I've been waiting for a long time. I grew up in the 90s. I'm a mid-80s older millennial, so my first kind of like game system was a Nintendo, and I've been waiting a while to get these things that were in the package, not necessarily this package. Best Buy did a great job getting them to me in 2 days, but the things that are in this package are gonna bring me back to my childhood a little bit, so I'm super, super excited. So sit back and relax, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and let's unbox this thing. So let's start with the big one, because I feel like this one's gonna be the one that's more exciting for you guys. So first, what do we got here? NES Classic. But just wait, guys. Second one, Super NES Classic. So I didn't just go with one, decided to go with both. And because it seems like the original NES one only came with one controller, and I want to make sure I can play with some other people, we got a second controller for that. Alright guys, you saw mail time again. We had some consumer packaged goods companies send me some stuff, and the stuff that did come actually fit really well with just like the topic, or at least what I think the topic of this video is going to be, and it's going to be around like esports and gaming, and just kind of how that's evolved and become super important for consumer packaged goods companies. So want to shout out Mark Samuel for sending me some of his I Want Organic snacks. If you guys were paying attention to my channel the last couple weeks, you guys saw I did an interview with him. So this is kind of my first introduction to trying them. I did try all the flavors. I think he sent me ranch, sriracha, I think there was a cinnamon sugar one, there was a barbecue one. I think that might have been it, but those, honestly, all of them were great. They had a really good like chip consistency, had a nice crunch to them, had some really good flavoring on top of those chips, and from like a macro perspective, it was great. Under 10 grams of fat, had about 12 grams of plant-based protein, and then I think it had somewhere around the 25-gram carbs, but I think 5 of them were fiber. So great macros. I think anybody can kind of fit that into their day-to-day kind of snacking. And then also Som Sleep sent me some more drinks. I want to shout out Brad Marks, an ex-MP Muscle Farm guy, so he always kind of hooks me up with drinks. I always joke with him and say that I'm kind of like his entrepreneur athlete, but if you guys haven't tried Som Sleep drinks, I think they're nationwide in GNC. They're also available on their website, but it's a really good like simple sleep drink. I have problems sleeping myself, so anytime I can add something that's going to help me go to sleep a little bit easier, but not make me drowsy in the morning, is something that I like. So take a look at them. I just think in general, sleep, the category sleep, just all of that's going to be really hot coming up soon, just because I think with our over-caffeinated society, people are looking to wind down. They're going to start trying to figure out mindfulness and meditation techniques, and I think a lot of that stuff's going to be extremely hot in the next 3, 5, 7 years. Shift out of mail time. Let's go play with those video games a little bit. You guys can see how bad I am, and then we'll kind of shift to the topic at hand. So as you guys saw, I picked up both the NES Classic and the Super NES Classic. And if you guys have been following or trying to pick one of those up yourself, you guys know how hard it was to get those. I believe it's been kind of off and on sold out for the last year, both of those. So I was lucky enough to pick those up. If it wasn't for one of my buddies back in Youngstown that kind of posted that he got one, from Best Buy. I wouldn't have even checked it, and so I decided to go on. Austin, Texas had some. I ordered them. 2 days later, they came to me, so I'm super pumped about this. I haven't had a game system since I think Nintendo 64 or maybe Sega Saturn, so it's been a long time. It's been probably 13, 14 years old that I haven't had one. I'm definitely not a gamer of any sort, definitely a nostalgic gamer, so I'm super excited about these. I've tried to play some of these like newer games that have come out since then, and I don't know if it's like my hand-eye coordination or just the like dexterity in my fingers. They're not as good as they used to be. Just in general, I'm super big on like gaming and esports from like a business perspective, and like later on in this video I'll discuss that a little bit more. But let me get these unpacked, let me hook them up to my TV, and let's play a little bit and see how I do. It should be just enjoyable for you guys to watch me probably fumble around not playing a game system in almost like 2 decades. And then we'll kind of finish up this video with more of a business talk. I think it's kind of esports, gaming, all that kind of stuff that's going on, but that'll be later on in the video. Let's play these games, guys. Dang, did you guys see I still got that? I still remember that like special area. It's like probably like 25 years difference, and I still kind of remember some things. So this is a blast already. I mean, Alright guys, so you guys just saw me play some video games for a little bit, have some fun. I stink at them obviously, but we're going to get better. I haven't played most of those games in probably 2 decades. Haven't played video games in more than 2 decades. But you know, I wanted to spin this around a little bit, turn it kind of businessy, because obviously my channel is here to educate on the business perspective, and though I like to share a little bit of my personal life, I want to make sure that you guys do get some value out of this. So obviously, you know, the bulk of this video has been gaming and all that, and I want to kind of talk about just like gaming, esports, the movement, all that stuff that's going on right now, and how companies are not taking full advantage of this. So if you guys have followed me a little bit on some of my written articles or just some of the posts that I make, you guys see I post a lot about just kind of like gaming and esports, and I've been doing that over the last probably 3 or so years. You know, though I am not an avid gamer, as you guys have heard in this video, and obviously you guys can see, I have been like really positive on gaming for the last few years. I've made, you know, a bunch of different investments. I have worked with a lot of different clients that are focused on esports, and I definitely think that this is like still early on in the whole world of esports and gaming. You know, I always make the comment, it's kind of like in the first couple innings of a 9-inning game, and it's funny that I always kind of make that you know, analogy, because I think I just saw a Gary Vee video where he was kind of talking about how baseball is going to die and how esports and gaming is going to kind of take its place. I think it was with an interview with Sports Illustrated. So obviously, you know, I'm not the only one barking about this. This is something that is really, truly going to happen. If you guys have followed me a little bit, you guys have seen me make kind of some aggressive comments just around esports in general. I definitely believe it's going to be an Olympic sport in the next probably 20 years. I think, though, what we believe esports is right now, with just like computers, joysticks, and things of that nature, I think it's could definitely change as augmented reality and virtual reality kind of takes gaming to a different level, and I think that adds more of an athletic aspect to esports. But just from a consumer packaged goods standpoint, most of these people that are getting into gaming or thinking about gaming in a sense of like maybe this is a career, they're going to naturally shift towards things that are going to help them be functional or help them with an intent of getting maybe 1 or 2% better. So that's when a lot of these like functional foods and beverages really kind of take shape and help some of these esports athletes. I definitely think there's a lot of opportunities with just like proper nutrition and hydration and a lot of things where an esports gamer that's doing kind of long sessions can take advantage of those products in a way that's going to help them. I'm not sure if the majority of the market right now is really thinking about that, but I think over time that's going to become more and more kind of prevalent with sponsorships, and then just kind of like kind of going way out past like functional and into just general consumer packaged goods. I think there's just a lot of opportunities to partner with these esports athletes. The great thing about esports athletes is that a lot of them are built on kind of the digital platform. So they're really great at social media. They have Twitch channels, they have YouTube channels, and if you guys kind of followed a little bit about like YouTube, most of the biggest channels on YouTube are gaming channels. Twitch, I think, right now has a ton of consumption that's going on with like paid channels, and the biggest kind of star of kind of Twitch is a guy named Ninja, and I think he's making somewhere towards $6 million plus just on his subscriptions alone. That's not prize money if he's winning it. But Ninja was the guy that was playing with Fortnite with Drake, and that was kind of a big moment. I don't think they premeditated that, so they didn't like hype it up, and it had over 500,000 people that were kind of on the live stream. So that was kind of a big moment for esports in general, or gaming and streaming. I honestly think, if you guys are not aware, like Twitch is owned by Amazon, and then obviously YouTube's owned by Google. So you have some really big players that are really invested in the success of esports and gaming. And I really think it's one of those things where if you follow the money, not only from Google and Amazon, but also from just a lot of the sports owners, sports leagues, a lot of investment funds, private equity, venture capitalist funds. A lot of people are throwing a lot of money towards gaming right now. So, I think right now at this point, the gaming kind of evolution is not going anywhere anytime soon. And not only like following the money, and that's obviously a thing that's easy to do, but if you kind of look at the world and what's happening right now, you can see that like esports and gaming is going to become a pretty common thing in our lives. Like with the evolution of augmented reality and virtual reality, there's a lot of what they call like gamification of life. This gamification all kind of happened, or what made us all take notice of it was from like the Pokemon Go movement. That was really the point where AR was kind of introduced into a more functional gamification way over just like a face filter or something from a consumer standpoint that people were recognizing with augmented reality. And that kind of took things into more of a gamification where like if you went out and found this, you got this thing, or if you went out and trained your Pokemon to do this, you got something else. And that was kind of the movement of gamification, getting out, moving around, and doing different things. But this is happening more with like some of our maps now and some of our like health apps or wearables or different things like that, where the gamification of society is going to become more and more prevalent outside of things. When think about when an app like a Facebook moves to an AR or VR stance, like how do they get people to continue to utilize it? And a lot of people believe that it's going to be some through some type of gamification of mixed reality, where if you do meet with friends or things of that nature and create communities outside of the AR VR world, and it's kind of mixed together, you're going to be getting kind of like a bonus points or a game that's going on with that. It's kind of crazy to think about, obviously, because this is probably 7 or so years in the future. AR, VR is really commercially more accepted right now, especially in some highly technical areas that can use some of that AR, VR in medical, I think heavy construction, things that are just kind of dangerous. But consumer-wise, I think it's going to be a little bit farther off, just because I think a lot of it has to do with like the hardware right now. You know, you have like the big kind of like headsets that go over top your eyes, and a lot of those different things that are just kind of clunky. So until those things turn into like a contact lens, or something that's just kind of like implanted into you, and I know this is getting like a little bit kind of crazy for most people, but if you guys took kind of a step back and kind of looked at where the world's going, I think you guys will see that those things are not as crazy as they sound. But yeah, I mean, I think with all these kind of things that are shifting into this like gamification of everything, you're gonna see like gaming and esports kind of evolve over time into this like extremely popular kind of way to either make a living or just a way of life, where things are going to be blended in a way that's going to really change from our day-to-day today. So if people are doubting kind of the esports world, you're going to be on the wrong side of history here. I think these things are really going to catch wind. And if I was a consumer packaged good company and I was looking at some areas to attack, esports would definitely be one of those things. I mean, I think right now you're still early, so I think you're going to get probably a better price. These influencers are not as mature as some of the maybe fitness influencers or beauty influencers, but you know, they're looking for things to help them both functionally, but they're also hoping to, you know, make a living doing this type of stuff. So they're looking to partner with people that they either used before or they have some kind of connection to. And I think that, you know, a lot of different brands are going to have you know, a field day with getting in there if they can make sure that they can match up their intent and whys and everything with just the sport of kind of gaming. But just wanted to wrap this kind of video up, and I'll definitely probably find some more articles to discuss like esports and everything like on more of like the consumed segments that I do. I think it's gonna be something that's gonna come up a lot more, so it's gonna be a topic that's definitely not gonna just be this video and then I'm not gonna touch on it anymore. But I want to thank you guys for the continued support. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you guys give it a like. If you guys have not done it so far, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. I'm still trying to gain those subscribers, and I know I said in the last couple videos, obviously don't charge for anything here. You guys can utilize this business content or opinions any way you guys would like in your own business. So all I ask is you know, as a thank you to me, is to tell a friend, tell a colleague, help me share this you know, YouTube channel a little bit. So I want to thank you guys again, and I'll see you guys on the next one.